Hi, if you are here on this page, there's a good chance that you need healing in your body. Well, you've come to the right place. My name is Erica Taft. I'm a holistic nutritionist, and I've been probably through a lot of what you've been. Currently, I am helping a lot of people get their life back and fulfill God's purpose in their life, and I want to do the same for you. Over my lifespan, I have been sick for multiple years of my life, and starting probably around 2008, chronic health symptoms started. And 2009, I was living in the doctors, going from test to test to test, specialist to specialist to specialist. It wasn't until 2017 that the doctors actually found multiple autoimmune diseases, titled me a high-risk patient, and then gave me a 6 to 10 years prognosis. I went on to find holistic healing through prayer and through studying the Word of God. God ordained my steps and allowed me to learn so much information that I've put it all together for you, and this is what created the Holy Healed One-on-One. Now, when you come and you work with me, we get down to the nitty-gritty detail so that we do not leave any stones left unturned. Now, when we meet with each other, we're going to dive in and basically look at an overview of probably things that you've never addressed before. You have everything you need, including a timeline, a grocery list, a food plan, journal prompts, devotions, spiritual prayers, and more, depending on your circumstance and what your needs are, so that you have all the tools to overcome autoimmune disease. We will be meeting on a 12-week span, and we will meet 6 times so that if you have any questions, and we can meet face to face and relate and talk, and I can pray with you and coach you and counsel you so that you are prepared to navigate through all or any trial. Now, through this, I am going to give you the perfect plan you need according to your circumstances. There is not one diet the same. This is not a cookie cutter approach. This is an individualized, tailored plan that suits your needs specifically. I give you a diet that is going to help you overcome chronic symptoms, chronic disease, and inflammation. I list you with all journal prompts that you need. And why is this important? Because it allows us to get out grief or maybe thoughts we didn't realize that we had. And through this process, we're going to navigate emotions and thoughts and feelings so that you can get those out so your body can feel safe enough to heal. We're also going to do some nervous system regulations. And why is this important? There's sympathetic and there's parasympathetic. Parasympathetic is the state that we need to be in order for healing to occur. It's when our bodies can say, oh, I am safe, and now I'm in the atmosphere where I can battle this disease and balance the hormones and allow myself to realign and move forward. If we are stuck in a sympathetic state, then our bodies aren't able to do that, and they're not able to fight back. But I give you all of the tools that you need in order to heal and reset your nervous system so that you can launch forward in your healing. We also approach the brain and rewiring the brain. And I know a lot of people may think that this is new age or tapping into the unknown, but this, I can guarantee, is a way that the Lord directed us. It says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And how do we do that? We renew our mind. So maybe rewiring the brain maybe wouldn't be the exact term that we should use, maybe more so renewing the mind, because we have neural pathways in our mind that is set to one way. And so when we associate two thoughts together, that creates a new neural pathway. So we want to break that neural pathway and realign it with a new one so that we're giving that a direct new signal stating everything is fine. You can calm down now. You don't have to give any flares or episodes. We can be relaxed. And so when we rewire the brain, we're actually transforming ourselves through the renewing of our mind, just like it says in the Bible. We also look to restoring the circadian rhythm. Why do we need to restore our circadian rhythm? The way God created this entire world to run, the birds, the sun, the water, everything has a way of living, of moving, of breathing. And our body is also set up with that. So our melatonin goes up when it starts getting dark outside, and our serotonin starts to go up when it starts to get light outside. Why is that? Because of the circadian rhythm. Unfortunately, we've been inundated with blue light technology, our phones, our laptops, our lights in our house, LED lights, and so forth. And what it does, it makes our brains perceive that it's different times of day, and it interrupts the cycle in which we need to be awake and functioning or sleeping and healing. And so when we have the different appetites throughout the day and we're hungry at the wrong times of day, or we're sad, or we're not producing enough serotonin, so we're not happy enough, or we're not creating enough melatonin, so we're not sleeping enough, and we're not sleeping regularly or deeply enough to where our bodies can heal. This is the problem that we need to address. And so the circadian rhythm is something that we need to balance and restore so that our bodies can say, oh, I'm in the function of things, I'm in the right flow of things, and now I can heal. One way that we do this is that we look at a Dutch test. We see where your serotonin is. We see where your melatonin is and your dopamine. And we also look at the other hormones that are in your body, such as the estrogen, the testosterone, the androgens, the DHEA, and all of the different hormones like progesterone that we need in order for our bodies to heal. When we see this on a larger scale, cortisol, if your cortisol is high or if it's low, if you're in burnout, we can see where we need to dial in and twist and turns a little bit so we can put you on the proper scale to healing. All of these things together, it's like a fail-proof system where you are guaranteed to be able to heal. We also do a hair tissue mineral analysis. Now, you may have heard this before. It's HTMA, but what it does is we take a piece of our hair and we send it into the lab, and they're able to look and document what is in our body. We look at magnesium, boron, potassium, sodium, iodine, and so forth. And these things are important because it charges our cells. And if we don't have that electrical charge, then we're not able to fully carry out our functions and the functions of the body. Now, the other thing that is why this is important is because ratios matter. So when we're looking at potassium and sodium, we need to make sure that they are in a proper ratio, not just that the levels are good, but that the ratios are good. And this isn't a screenshot. This isn't a snapshot how you get at the doctor's office and they take a blood sample. This is a 3-month period where we actually see in the hair, because the hair absorbs everything, then we know exactly what we are looking at a 3-month period. I also help direct you accordingly of what supplements you need in order to heal and restore your body. So if we look at those tests and we see where you are deficient, or we see where you need to maybe navigate the estrogen pathway, or if we see that you have too much estrogen or too much cortisol or not enough cortisol, we can then direct that by supplement support. And do you have to be on these forever? Absolutely not. It might just be a temporary thing where your body needs support in order to heal. We also look at movement and daily exercise, if you will. Lymphatic movement, maybe rebounding, walking, gentle walks, so forth, because sometimes our body needs to be in a state of relaxation so that it can let go and so that it can heal. We look at emotional, physical, mental, spiritual. We target every single area. So like I said, we do not leave a stone left unturned. And through that, you are going to be receiving the spiritual, the emotional, the mental, the physical support that you need from me in order to get through. Now, with that, you have message access to me so that if you do need help or if you do need prayer, you can send me a text and I will be right there to help guide you through. The last thing that I want to say in all of this is that you are going to have access to an incredible community. This is where I meet with you guys one-on-one every Friday, and if you can't make it, you can always watch the replays, but in there I teach you more about healing and health and living a non-toxic life and making sure that your body is in balance. You have an amazing support group in there. We have times where we gather together and prayer. And not only that, but you're also meeting other people that might be going through things that you're also going through. You can relate, you can connect, and through that build new friendships. Because sometimes we feel like we are alone, but in the grander realm of things, when you actually see other people going through things, you realize how much you are not alone. Sometimes we feel misunderstood. Sometimes we feel judged. Sometimes we feel like nobody can hear us, and the cry that we give out is silenced and nobody understands. We feel like we can go to the doctors and then run a bunch of tests and gaslight us and say, we can't help you, or this is all in your head, or here, take this pill. And that's because that's what they've been taught to do. They can help our symptoms and suppress our symptoms, but they don't necessarily heal the problem, and they don't get to the root so that it can heal. We don't want these things to come back. Like for me, for example, I've dealt with lupus and Raynaud's, mixed connective tissue, diabetes insipidus, gastritis, psoriasis, celiac. So when I reversed those, I want to make sure that I'm not going to ever deal with those again. And that is, what I want for you. I don't want you to spend hours in the emergency room, hours seeking mental support and being on a ton of medications, or feeling like you are lost and gaslit, because I will tell you, unfortunately, many people have gone through that, but that's not the way to live, and that's not the way to survive, and that's not the way to heal, because there is a way to heal. God created our bodies to heal and to restore itself. So when we give them the proper tools it needs, and when we take care of it in the proper way, in the proper manner, it can do just that. It can reverse disease. And many people will argue and say you could go into remission, but you can't reverse disease. But I beg to differ. When you see people living with chronic pain and inflammation, like, do you see these stairs here? I had to crawl up those stairs. I could not walk up those stairs. And when you have to crawl up those stairs, do you know how humbling that is? And the day that I could walk up those stairs, that was such a reward for me. And that I knew there was a turning point. That I knew we could overcome something so great. And that too is why now I want to help you. There is another place that you can get to, and that is being wholly healed. It's healing in Christ. It's healing in your spirit. It's healing in your mental state. It's healing in the physical state. It's healing in the emotional state. I no longer deal with depression and anxiety or OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. I used to be in a place where I used to have to take a lunchbox and 2 lunchboxes everywhere I went, just in case something were to happen. I had to take multiple changes of clothes just in case something happened. I had to take multiple pairs of shoes because I couldn't make a decision. When I went into grocery stores and I would look at every single nutrient fact, yes, I now do it for fun, but before I was so obsessed and I could not make a decision. I used to have to sit in a certain chair in a restaurant, and I would have to change tables over and over and over again until my body could feel at peace. I could not sit in a place where there was too many different noises going on because my body would be so overstimulated. I couldn't go into stores or factories without losing my voice and getting a chronic migraine because of multiple chemical sensitivities. And I will tell you, I no longer deal with that. But if you would like to join us in Wholly Healed, please click the link below. I would love to work with you. I would love to get you your health back so that you could fulfill God's purpose in your life, because you are called and chosen. You have value over your life. And I believe the reason why you are sick is because Satan doesn't want you to fulfill God's work. Satan wants to keep you suppressed, and he wants to keep your voice silent. He wants to keep your work aside because he knows how much you are capable of doing. So let's silence this disease. Let's reverse the disease and get your life back. Let's see you fulfill God's work in your life to where you can teach and heal and reach out for other people so that you can take care of your family and your loved ones, so that you can call other people up and help lead other people to healing as well. Thank you for your time. My name is Erica Taft, and I look forward to helping you soon. All right. Bye-bye.